How we doing, guys? Welcome to the player ratings. Arsenal against PSV, back in the Champions League like we've never been away. What an easy game. And I've seen a lot of talk about the opposition. Oh, it's only PSV. Oh, it's not PSG and all the rest of it. Listen, stop being disrespectful to the team that we played, because yeah, PSV are not, a Premier League team, shall we say, like one of these big powerhouses, the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas and PSG, etc. But they're still a good side. 26 unbeaten before this game, top of their league, only conceded 1 goal all season. And yet they come to the Emirates and we dispatch them comfortably. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, can some people not just praise us? Can some people not just say, you know what, fair play Arsenal, well done, superb performance, better team by a mile, we move? No, there's always got to be something. Oh, it's not this, it's not that. Oh, but why is he in goal? And why is he doing that? And why is this? And shut up. Just let us enjoy ourselves, no matter what we're doing. Everybody's got to make some kind of reason to have a go at us. Before this game even started, it was like, oh, look, Arsenal players, they're looking at the Champions League ball. They look excited because they've never been in it before. And what? Seriously? You're talking like we're a club that have never, ever been in the Champions League. And this is some big fairy tale. We've been 7 years without Champions League football after 21 consecutive years. And yes, some of these players are looking at it for the first time and, competing in it for the first time. And they're excited. They're buzzing. So what's the reason for having a go? Because they're excited. It's simply because it's Arsenal and it's like, you know what, let's find anything to have a go at them. Shut up. So yeah, look, listen, we got the job done. 4-0, very comfortable. Second half in particular was a stroll. It was very much like a training exercise and it was perfect before the North London derby this Sunday. It gives us that opportunity to have took players off and just not overexert themselves. Just what we needed. So with that said, let's go and get into the ratings. Starting off in goal, David Raya. Listen, it was a big call by Mikel Arteta to, do this in the Champions League game. Some will say that, Aaron Ramsdale has earned the right to play this game. He deserves it, etc. Listen, football is a ruthless business, and at the end of the day, you go with the best man for the job. And I don't think in the last couple of games David Raya's had an awful lot to do, but when called upon, he's looked very good, very assured, very composed, especially in his distribution and his handling. And Mikel Arteta's obviously made his decision. And it's as simple as that. But in terms of the game, I think it was very, very comfortable. And David Raya gets a straight 7. Moving into the fullback positions, Ben White. First half, I felt that he had a difficult game. Or what I would say is that he come up against a winger that was very lively. But he dealt with him. There's a couple of times he got spun and whatnot. But overall, he did the job that he was needed to do. And he looked more like the Ben White we saw last season, more involved with Bukayo Saka with the overlapping, etc. But yeah, a straight 7 for me. It was very simple. Moving to the centre of defence, William Saliba, very, very comfortable. There was one moment in the game where it looked like he'd lost the ball with a bad touch, and then he was just William Saliba after that. The way that he got out of it, he's just unreal. And I think, calling him a Rolls Royce is a disservice. He's more than that. What can he possibly be? Is it a Bugatti? Is it, I don't know. He's just so good, man. But it was a comfortable evening for him, to be honest. So straight 7 as well. Next up, Gabriel. Very, very simple evening as well, a bit like William Saliba. Doesn't have that little bit of elegance that William Saliba has, more of a get stuck in and get rid of it sort of player. But yeah, he is quality, and it's nice to have had him back after, missing those first few games of the season and a lot of question marks, etc. But yeah, straightforward performance, straight 7 for me. Next up, Zinchenko, a bit like Ben White in the first half, came up against a fullback that was very lively. There was a couple of times where he'd be caught out of position, but I think a lot of that is because he will be playing that inverted role and then he has to get back. But you know what? He did the job. It was a very, very straightforward evening for me, and he gets a straight 7 as well, because I don't think any of the back line really had to overexert themselves. So straightforward performance from all of them. Moving into Declan Rice, he's quality. It wasn't the big explosive performance that we saw at Everton, for example, with the domination. It was just a very, very straightforward, comfortable evening. But he just oozes class. It's everything he does. It's the way he distributes things. It's the way that he manipulates the ball, and he's so, so good. For me, because he's a part of that quartet in front of him that starts the move and everything else, he gets an 8. Solid Champions League debut for me. Next up, we have Bukayo Saka. Look more like his old self. He was absolutely superb. Gets a goal, and his overall play. Second half was a lot quieter than the first half, but again, I think the game was done. First half performance and everything else, he gets a solid 8 for me. He was absolutely superb. And the other thing as well, there's question marks. Don't know why there is, but can he do it in the Champions League? Listen, he's done it in the Premier League. He's done it on the international stage in a World Cup. And now he can add it to his CV that he's done it in the Champions League. It's as simple as that. Next up, we're going to go with Kai Havertz. His best performance in an Arsenal shirt. I thought he was absolutely superb, especially in the first half. His overall play, his touch, his movement, the passing, his work rate, really, really good. Hopefully, that's the start of things to come. What he needs now is a goal, of course, but overall, his play was really, really good, and he gets an 8. Next up, we're going to go with Trossard, and superb goal. Gets an assist as well. And again, it was a first half performance that was excellent, and the players in general all kind of just dropped a level in the second half. But again, that's because the job was done. And a lot of them, like the rest of us, were probably already thinking about Sunday's game. But solid 8, simple as that. Next up, we have Martin Odegaard, man of the match for me. He was absolutely immense, orchestrated everything, and got a goal as well. Superb finish, and his overall play, he's just an immense player, and he gets a 9 for that performance. Next up, Gabriel Jesus looks more like his old self, starting to look really sharp now, and just in time for Sunday's game. Superb goal, superb link-up play and everything else that he does. And yeah, he gets an 8 for me. In terms of the substitutes, I'm not going to mark none of the substitutes. Now, I know a couple of them came on a little bit earlier in the second half, like tomiyasu, vieira, etc. But I feel that in that second half, the game was already done. It was kind of going through the motions. It was kind of a training ground exercise. And I think it would be a disservice to try and mark these players when it was just so relaxed and comfortable. So there we go. Mikel Arteta, big call with David Raya. And everything else he got right. Kai Havertz starting the game, Champions League experience and everything else. I said it in my preview. Gabriel Jesus coming back in for Eddie Nketiah, Trossard instead of Martinelli. The way we set up, the way we played, the way we pressed, the way we broke, just everything was really good. Mikel Arteta gets an 8. The fans, I'm going to mark the fans for this one because first time back in the Champions League, you see the excitement on everybody's faces. And when that Champions League anthem rung around the Emirates, it was just music to our ears. Absolutely beautiful. The fans, they get a 10 because it was just lovely. That moment, Champions League and everything, is just perfect. So there we go. That is it for the player ratings. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you agree or disagree? If you do disagree, which ones do you disagree with? Let me know. There's going to be a preview coming up for the North London derby. You don't want to miss that. I'm lively when it comes to this game. There's going to be a watch along as well. What am I doing? And then the usual match reaction, etc. So yeah, look, listen, if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button, press the notification bell, and I will see you lot very soon. I'm out of here.